Good afternoon, everyone. So we've got a good one here. It's a 2004 Honda Civic. The customer's complaint is that the car doesn't really accelerate well, right around 30 miles an hour, and that the check engine light is on. So we're going to start with the basics. And I have my scan tool hooked up, and the codes that are stored are misfires in cylinders 1 through 4. With a random misfire attached. So we have P0300 and P0301 through P0304. So I'm going to drive it and assess exactly how these misfires occur to corroborate the customer story. So here we go. Okay, so I will say this, that under heavy acceleration here, I don't really feel like a dead misfire, but more like a surge. So whatever our misfire is not really consistent. It's happening pretty regularly, but it's not a consistent dead miss, which would probably explain the random misfire, because the timing of the misfires is how the PCM will determine which cylinder is misfiring. If that's not constant, it's going to guess and calculate wrong. So now, armed with that information, I'm going to do some baseline checks. We all know what we need for ignition, on combustion, I say, ignition, air, fuel, compression. I'm going to take them in order of simplest to hardest. I don't want to overcomplicate this, so we're going to start with looking at the spark plugs first. Check that condition. I'm trying to figure out what would be the fastest. We know how we're going to check the ignition system, but I'm going to see the fastest way to determine which one we're having a problem with here. And we'll go from there. So let's head to the shop. Okay, we're in the shop now. What I'm going to do real quick, I already started taking them apart. I forgot I wanted to bring you guys with me. But I took the retaining nuts off of the ignition coils. And what I'm going to do now is pull out a spark plug and take a look at its condition. Alright. So, she didn't want to come. Alright. Let's grab a magnet here. Guaranteed it's going to be hot. So, ow! That was smart. Okay, so I'm going to grab a magnet here. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see this here. Spark plug's condition isn't terrible. It does look recently replaced though. It's brand new. So I'm going to check the gaps on all 4 of them and make sure that nothing happened untoward there with the rest. Check that condition. Make sure only one, was replaced. Make sure that not one was replaced. And I'll move from there. Alright, again, while not a definitive test, I want you guys to take a look at these 2 ignition coils. Here's one. You can see it's a little brownish in color there. It's kind of an overheat or oil soak contamination type situation here. It's kind of suspect. For its mileage, 104,000, I'm not too worried about this one. So I'm kind of concerned about that first guy there, but not too much so. I could go ahead and ohm test it and stuff like that, but I would be looking more for a dead, repeatable miss that the computer would find, not this random and multiple like we have. So while I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind, I'm going to make sure that we don't have any other issues. All 4 spark plugs have been replaced, so let's see. We don't have a dead miss, so we really can't swap things around. I think we're going to go into a little bit more advanced settings with the scan tool and go for another ride. Okay, so I'm about to hit this road real quick. I have my scan tool here set to monitor misfires, and it's going to do 2 things. It's going to monitor how many times the engine is misfired, and then it's going to identify which cylinders are doing so. And I have the screen set up right here. If not for the glare, maybe you can see it. The top line there is misfire count, And the second one is a list of zeros starting from, that would be left to right, 1 through 8. This is a 4-cylinder, so it's only going to show the first 4. But I'm going to drive it now and see what frequency and which cylinders are misfiring.